welcome back to our channel. I'm Louise, and today we have
Ant
and
Hendrik
with us. We have a very interesting topic today, and it's something that gave me a lot of culture shock when I came to Japan, actually, which was beauty standards.
Oof.
Japan versus the world. Here we are.
The world.
I don't know about you guys, but when I came, there was so many beauty standards I was so confused about. I was like,
Yeah.
what is even that? And like, why? And I have so many questions. And I thought today we could just like talk about a few examples, see the differences, and just like talk about it.
and the fact that all of us are from different parts of the world, I'm
Yes.
That
sure
is
we're
true.
going to have a lot to talk about. So
Lots of opinions today.
If you can scroll through, so this is Ishihara Satomi.
Oh, you used to love her, right?
Yeah.
She is very beautiful, and I feel like she would be beautiful anywhere, but maybe she wouldn't be at the top in different countries. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Because
I
we
get
have
that.
different expectation
Yeah.
of like what beauty is.
yeah.
And I feel like, for example, in France, she's pretty pale, which is a good thing in Japan, but we tend to want people who are tanner. It's healthier, it's sexier. Because of that, she would probably not be at the top of the top. You know
Yeah.
what I mean?
Yeah, I think in terms of Japanese aesthetics, they really like pureness kind of looks, you know what I mean?
I agree.
Like people have very innocent faces, cute faces, small faces, and it's kind of like they look like a person who's just no trouble at all.
and very nice.
Yeah, very nice, right?
Yeah, for me, I mean, I think in terms of Japanese beauty standards, from what I've seen so far, yeah, she hits all the categories. I mean, beautiful eyes, like her facial shape or structure is nice. Her nose is,
Defined.
defined. Yeah.
That's
But in America, I do agree with you that she would be pretty in America. But yeah, the standards are a little bit different. In America, like a lot of people take in the whole package.
Yeah,
that's
So I'm not sure.
True.
She has a great body, but American body is a little different.
I get what you mean. I
Yeah,
think
yeah,
France has like two sides, but one
Yeah,
of
yeah.
them is like sexy,
Ah,
more than
yeah,
cute.
Yeah.
And
That's
like
true.
French girl get kind of offended if you tell them they're cute. It's like, I'm like a kid.
Really?
Yeah,
Yeah.
no.
Yeah, it's like, are you taking me for a kid? Like, I want to be beautiful. I don't want
Yeah.
to be cute. I'm sorry.
It's kind of like
It's okay.
it's kind of like that in America,
Yeah.
depending on how you use cute.
Yeah.
So-
In the Philippines, I think cute is kind of like a compliment for anybody. I never knew that there's a second side to some
No,
a second,
yeah.
how do you say this, meaning to being cute.
I think maybe that shows some similarities between like Japan and the Philippines in that sense, right? It's
That's
like
true.
being cute is like the ultimate compliment, whereas I think in America probably and in France, it's like you say that to a kid. You say that about a stuffed animal,
Yeah.
I
your
see.
little sister,
Mm.
but not your romantic interest or like,
Quick question: in terms of the words that are used to describe someone's beauty in your own countries, which one do you think is the highest?
in English.
Yeah,
in English.
because pretty to me kind of sounds
Yeah.
Yeah.
lower average.
Yeah.
Mm.
I mean, to my English knowledge would be like beautiful,
Yeah.
then pretty is under that. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I feel like in the Philippines, pretty and cute are kind of like on the same level,
Okay.
I think. But beautiful, definitely, I think
Oh,
the same as
okay.
well. Like it's at the top.
What do you guys think about gorgeous?
Like we don't
don't
have
use
it.
Yeah,
we don't have it in France.
We
so,
don't
like-
really use it either.
Yeah.
I kind of put, I guess, gorgeous above beautiful.
I
Pretty,
see.
yeah.
That's how it feels, yeah, in English at least. But
That's true.
it's funny because in Japanese, I think they use gorgeous, like the katakana word, to describe a woman that has curves and everything.
Oh.
So maybe it's related to the American, like, standard of beauty.
Let us know.
I
Yeah.
think.
So what do you guys think of when it comes to beauty standards? Facial features. Let's focus on that.
Oh,
I
that's so different. Like,
Yeah.
you know how I went to makeup school, right? It was very interesting because European, or maybe I think like in the West, we tend to want to define cheekbones, make a very sharp jawline, and all of those to make you look cooler, sharper. But in Japan, they don't want to define this bone at all. They want your face to look a bit softer
Round.
and round. So the way to contour is very different. And that was super interesting. And in Japan, it's all about making the face like small and the eyes big.
bigger. You know, when it comes to the Philippines, we kind of have two sides of like, you know, what is good for facial features. because of course we're Asians as well. We also do like the small and like more plump looking faces, stuff like that, depending on your face. Because in the Philippines, there's actually a lot of mixed people. There's a concept called mestizo.
Mestizo?
Yeah, mestizo. I don't know, my experience with Filipino moms, they always like, oh, I love mestizos. Basically people who have like different European descent mixed faces with Filipinos.
Okay.
And from everyone that I've talked to, that's generally attractive point for people who have mixed features instead of just like being one on each side, either European or just Asian.
So they love like the combined.
What do you guys think about facial marks like freckles,
Beauty
moles,
marks?
beauty marks,
True.
beauty marks and facial hair? Because those, I would say in
that's
America,
a big thing.
Yeah.
in America, I think they're widely accepted.
Uh-huh.
Freckles are good
Adorable.
now.
Yeah,
when I was
good
when I was
now.
when I was a kid, they weren't, but now
Now they
that's-
are.
Yeah.
And I think we love beauty marks. Like it's a good thing. Usually it's like, oh, you have such a nice beauty mark on your face. I feel like a lot of Japanese girls might try to hide some of them.
That is true.
Which is interesting because they have the best beauty marks too. So I'm like,
I agree.
Right?
I agree.
Let's switch over to the guys.
Guys, I got nothing.
Oh,
Oh my god, Jason Momoa.
He is like basically the opposite of the beauty standard in Japan.
That is
But
a
he's a very
hunk of a man.
yeah.
I agree.
Exactly what I was gonna say.
I mean, I don't think Japanese people would kind of agree like that, this is kind of like their kind of version of a hunk, right? Because from what I've, talked to a lot of people, well, anecdotal experience, that a lot of people don't really like muscles in Japan.
They're like hoso macho.
So. Like people with like this kind of exaggerated muscles of like let's say Henry Cavill or Jason Momoa. I feel like would turn a lot of people off.
I think it's interesting because I still think that a lot of Japanese people would agree he's handsome,
Yeah.
even though he defies what they usually are attracted to. Because long hair on a man, especially that long, is not very common, I think. And beard tend to be considered as like a bit like unsanitary. The girl who like it, but it's not a very like common thing, right? When you see celebrities, most of them don't have like a big beard.
The Philippines have so many people with huge beards.
They do?
Yeah, and I bet America does as well.
Yeah, France also. Everyone who goes to university, every man goes out with a beard. Like, I don't know, I think it's one part of being a university student. Yes.
Exactly.
Beard and a diploma. Guys, let us know in the comments. Beard, yes or no?
I'm curious to see who wins.
What is your opinions?
When I went to my makeup school again, that's when I learned about most of the beauty standard because I was surrounded by so many girls, right? As a teenage girl, they talk about all of that, right?
Of course.
And I have two things I was very surprised by. The first one is people were saying like, oh, you have a small head, it's so nice. I was like, what is a small head?
Thanks.
What's a big head? Like, because in French, small head is an insult to say you're stupid. I was pretty sure that's not what they meant.
Yeah.
And I discovered that we have different head size, which I've never noticed before. And that changed my perspective. Now I see people with small head and I'm like, oh, they have a small head. Have you ever noticed that?
I don't really think about that, no.
I've paid attention to...
Do people talk about that?
I wouldn't say it's like on the average, talking point and like when you're talking about someone's attraction, but they use it in terms of like making fun of people.
I
of
see.
course they do, yeah.
Big head,
Yeah. It's kind of the same. We're like, oh, we like small heads. But I don't think it's like a big contention for some folks.
Yeah.
More on the facial features than the actual place where all the features are placed.
Talking about nose, that's one too, right?
Yeah.
In Japan, they love big nose. In France, I would be offended if someone told me I had a big nose.
In the Philippines, I wouldn't say big noses are kind of looked down on, but people prefer to have the mestizo look, like, mixed features, so like sharper noses.
Okay.
There's a thing in the Philippines where parents do this to their children.
To make it thinner?
To make it sharper, to shape it as they grow
wow.
up. But I think that's a very common myth.
It's interesting that Japanese people, or even I've noticed just, Asian people, do kind of look for, like, they see interest in a bigger nose, where I think Americans want to get surgery and reduce the size of the nose. So it's interesting that the opposite, that flip. America, I feel like there's both sides. Of course, there was maybe like the old guard beauty standards, which you'll see in like high-level fashion magazines and, you know, agencies and stuff. But there's also a lot of people that are pushing for like body positivity and like, natural beauty and, you know, seeing all that. So there's a strong, you know, push on both sides.
Yes. Yeah. Like, I don't know, when I came to Japan, and I think it's a good thing too, because coming to another country made me like switch my view on some things. Like, I would see people that in France, people would comment as a bad thing that their nose is too big, but people would be like, oh my god, they have such a nice nose, they have such a long nose, and like I'm like, oh, it could be a good thing too, actually. And it's like very interesting to see that. Kim Kardashian?
Ding, 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 ding.
Yes.
It
Of course, it is
of
Kim
course.
Kardashian. She went to like the curve route, all in. But one thing, I don't know if it's Europe or French people, is like French people really like you to look beautiful, but look like you didn't try to look beautiful, which is why I think she wouldn't be that popular in France, because it looks like she tried, which I think is stupid, like try if you want, but from a French person perspective, you need to look like you woke up and you were just born beautiful, and then you just walk in the street. So I think in France, more like natural body type are more valued in a way.
I've had conversations with people about Kim Kardashian.
Yeah?
Actually,
Oh, you did?
Yeah. Because I used to work at a women-dominated industry, which is being in a daycare. And they were asking opinions of how do Japanese people think of like a body type like this? Collective response of just like, you know, it's like, because people like small frames in Japan. I don't think in any capacity a Japanese person would look at this and say, oh, that's cute. You know what I mean?
Yeah. It's obviously not the cute part. Like, I think there are some Japanese people who look at her and be like, oh, she's so sexy. Because that's what she's going for, obviously, I think. So.
But it might be even too much sexy.
It might be, yeah.
I mean, I think she's beautiful. I think she's attractive.
I mean, do what you want with your body, you know?
Yeah.
Don't do anything, natural beauty or not. Beautiful either way.
Beautiful. I love that. So yeah, that was all of our opinions, I guess, on different beauty standards, a lot of different views on different people, different features. And overall, I just think like, for me at least, coming to a different country or watching contents from other countries too, it really helped me to discover like all of the sides of beauty. Because I feel like sometimes if you're in your country, you will obviously be influenced by what is considered beautiful there.
100%.
But coming to Japan really opened my eyes on like, oh, being pale is also a good thing. Or like being less curvy could be a beautiful thing too. Or like having a longer nose, like all of those things. It's like, oh, that's also beautiful. And overall, I just think there's beauty in everyone. And it's just fun to learn to see it even more.
That's true.
That was so touching.
You know, there's so many people out there in the world. There's different kinds of faces, body types, you know, skin colors and everything.
Beards.
Sorry to not include beards. You know, at the end of the day, we're all human beings. And all the beauty depends on you. You know, what do you think is beautiful is what matters. And of course, don't let anybody else influence you in that way. So, and don't forget, we are LanCul Eikaiwa. You can meet, you know, mates like Ant or myself, and we talk about topics like this to practice your English. And if you guys want to see and, you know more about our services, there is a link in the description below.
So don't forget to subscribe, like, ring the notifications, tell us all your comments down below so we can read them, and we'll see you guys in the next video. Bye.
I think it's interesting because Anthony, I trained my eyes now. I see it. And now.
Small heads.
Yes. And like, oh.
Small head.
It's like you see the difference. I never cared before, which is so interesting.